Hello. Oh, what is
Hi.
this? This is the World of Enders
Hey.
channel. I haven't been here for a while.
I know it's been a while because I don't know. There hasn't been much balance patches until very recently. So
This was a
and
big
I
balance patch. I gotta say, there was a lot of whinging about this patch, but I loved this patch. I really,
this was
really
a
like
great
this patch.
patch. It was a
It's
really good
so
balance
cool.
patch. I liked it a lot. Except it did basically like ruin every single build I've ever made. But that's okay because oh my goodness, so many things are coming down the pike.
Because now you have more to do, right? You've got more you can
Yeah.
play around with, so it totally works.
Exactly. I got this that I just made because of a certain trait that came into the game that just like opened up so many avenues to look down. And yeah, and in a month we got all the elite specializations coming, so it's gonna be amazing.
So is this is a quick little bonus boots bads builds
Yeah, like a
between.
bonus boost bad build between now and the
No,
expansion, just to
they've all got to start with B's. Bonus boots bad build between Big Expansion 1 and Big Expansion 2.
perfect.
Okay, this is going to be cool though. So what have you got for us? Is this totally a new thing that's opened up because of the recent patch?
Yes, yes. There's a new trait added to the game. Game.
Ooh, are you
There's
talking about Brave Stride?
no, I'm.
Oh, okay.
Which one's Base Strat again?
That replaced the full damage trait when they rolled it into peak performance, so it's gains stab when you enter combat.
Right. No, it's not Brave Stride. But they also moved around a lot of traits for Warrior that
Warrior.
that actually like made a lot of things more viable. Like they moved the axe trait away from the 20% extra
Oh,
damage.
can you have all axe goodness now finally?
You could have all axe goodness finally.
Oh my god, that's awesome. I really want to look
I
at that.
know.
I love me some axes.
And they also changed the signet trait to give ferocity instead of precision, which is a lot of extra damage as well. But I haven't used that. That's not what I'm doing here.
Oh
What
man.
I used is a new trait, and I'm going to tell you this in a second. I just like to point out first that this build, because of this new trait, is a real throwback to an old warrior build I made,
On this
and
series, is it on this series?
on this series, very very long time ago. I think it might have been like the third build I ever made.
Okay.
And it's kind of a combination of that and this. You know what? It's not unlike the last build I made, except there's no boon duration.
Okay.
So so what it is that just came out, the trait, is called Might Makes Right.
Okay, so where do we find Might Makes Right? Oh, I'm excited.
Might Makes Right is in the strength line.
Oh, it's Grandmaster Strength.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Are you talking about the stun breaky heal build?
No, not at all.
Okay,
No,
okay.
no, no. Look at my research. Just read it out loud.
Oh, okay. I can see where this is going. This is going to it involve some runes from a certain king who was a little bit mad. I'm pretty sure.
Because for some reason, once again, they did not put an internal cooldown on this thing, and I had to make this build and show it to you before they nerfed it.
Listen, we got to move away from Mad King runes, right? Mad King
Never.
runes need to
Never.
they need to be like the Heart of Thorns thing, right? When like
But
the
it's
new
not. It's the
era
core.
of Boots
Heart
Bad
of Mad
builds.
King Runes. Mad King Runes is from
I know,
core
but
game.
we weren't doing this series during the core game. So look,
we
just
were.
draw a line in the sand. All
Yeah,
right,
we were doing
this
this
is it
series.
for Mad King runes. Okay?
We were doing this series during the core
Were we?
game.
Were,
Yeah.
were we doing this before Heart of Thorns came out?
Yes, we were.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even
I
realize
know.
that is quite old then. All right, okay, so the trait is gain health and endurance whenever you apply might to yourself. So on my amulet, this looks terrible, but I'm sure you've got a nice amulet to show
No,
us.
not at all. Actually, it's I still have it at 133 health per might.
Wow, I'm actually looking at 134 health right now.
Oh, you gave yourself a little bit of healing power, I guess,
Somehow, from something, yeah.
from something.
Oh, it's my Traveler runes, which give me plus all stats in very minor amounts, so I get a whole extra 1 health from my mixture.
There you go. But that is why I did not put any healing power on this, because the scaling on the healing is not very strong. It's like, I think if you go 1,000 healing power, you get 20 extra healing per thing.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yes, not that fantastic. So at first I was like, okay, you can make a pretty fun, a little more sustaining thing with this. Some nice heals on your might generation. But then I looked even closer to it and I reread it one more time, So 133 healing, and what's that other thing right
Endurance. The 5 endurance every time.
there? You get 5 endurance every time
A bird chews
gain
someone's
might.
face off.
Every time you hit with your greatsword, even with this master trait, forceful greatsword.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Okay, so you're going to run, which is in the same line as well. And I guess
Yeah.
you're running restorative strength?
You can run restorative strength. That's another.
So hold on
basically
then. That's 5 might. So just from popping a heal skill, you get 25 endurance back.
That's right.
Which is, oh my god!
Which is almost a dodge.
That's actually gross. I mean, I popped 2 the limit at the same time, which is endurance gaining as well. But still, that's mental.
Moving down the line, you then have forceful greatsword. Gain might on a critical hit with a greatsword or a spear.
Right.
And they deal more damage.
So this
And
is
the
an underwater
returns.
build.
This is an underwater build. Yes, you can use this underwater.
Because you got that skill 5 that does lots of ticks, right? Which means lots of might, which means all that good
exactly.
stuff. Cool.
Except I'm not sure if Mad King runes work underwater.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know.
You just don't like the idea of the birds drowning while they're down? That must
poor
work underwater.
birds. Poor drowning birds.
You'd need to make sure you have your aqua piece runed correctly in order for this to
you
work.
would.
That would be cool, though. That would be cool.
So then you got building momentum, the minor. Burst skills return endurance on hit, 15 endurance.
Okay.
So for my 2 weapons are great sword and axe shield.
Okay.
So eviscerate gives you 5 might. So that would be 25 endurance by itself with the 5 might. Plus 15 because it's a burst skill. So that would be 40 endurance from there, and that's basically a dodge roll.
Okay.
Just using a burst skill. And the same thing with your greatsword. It'll give might for each time you crit with it, and it does 5 targets, so you could also get a dodge roll from that.
I'm really curious to see how the healing works with this, I must be honest.
Yeah, I'll show you. So then you've got restorative strength. You could use that. It's a very good skill, especially if you're using a heal skill that works, that you use often. I use healing signet, so I use that a little bit less often.
Okay.
And that way I use peak performance instead.
All right, I see. Okay.
So with peak performance, they tied in that fall reduction trait that also lets people get stomped away when you land.
I love that. I love that part of this patch. It was so nice to do that.
Very good. And also physical steals, recharge faster and deal 30% extra damage is also very nice, especially since they significantly buffed Bull's Charge.
Yeah, so that got, what was the change on that? Was it just the damage, right? And it moves faster?
It was 267% extra damage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it also evades while you're using
Oh, it was the evade during... Yeah, that's crazy. I love Bull's Rush as well. I've got a lot of nostalgic memories of people Bull's Rushing in before using their greatsword stuff. This is like a rebirth of classic Power Warrior.
Yeah, this is a core warrior spec, man.
This is cool.
And then finally in that line, you got the minor trait, Reckless Dodge. You do about 1,000 damage flat, but obviously that crits.
And we actually quite like this, though, because there's going to be a lot of endurance to go around, yeah.
Yeah, so you basically turn your warrior into a vaulting thief. A vaulting daredevil.
Well, not quite, but yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, all right. The footage will speak for itself. I'm quite excited.
The footage will speak for itself, yeah. And yeah, so when you have like 25 stacks of might, which you will get often with this build, and if you are dodging around, you can do in World vs. World. You get dodge rolls up to like 5k damage, and in PvP they go up to like 3k damage usually.
So hold on. When you are on reckless, if you crit with a reckless dodge while you've got a greatsword up, right?
Yeah.
Can reckless dodge crit? By the way, is that a thing?
Yes, it can.
It can.
Yes, it can.
So when you do that, does that generate might?
You want to go test that out?
That should generate might, shouldn't it? Yeah, I mean, we can. Do you want
to
to go to the sparring area? By the way, this is the first Boots Bad builds since the change to Heart of the Mists as well.
That's true.
It
That's
is.
very true.
So we've now got this cool new arena area where we can just spar and test stuff without having to go into hot joins and things.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So let's go on in, shall we?
The sparring. No, I want to go to a place where there's a lot of golems to attack.
Oh, really? Oh, you want to test
get
it
5.
Oh yeah, so you can
hits.
get the 5 targets as well at the same time. Okay. All right.
Ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Oh my god, you just went from 7 to 16 might on dodge roll. Look at your might going up. This is disgusting.
You could quintuple
Oh
dodge.
my god. Now, you're obviously not going to have all those targets all the time, but that's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
It's very cool. And then, couldn't you just do something as simple as Greatsword 3 through the golems and dodge again?
Yeah.
Just anything you do, just while attacking. That's obscene.
I know. Look at this. Look at this. So, boom.
This is no
boom.
vigor, people.
And then do a little bit of this.
This is not
dodge
vigor.
Again,
this is not.
Dodge again.
This is gross.
Dodge again. Dodge again.
No fury here either, by the way.
Dodge again. Dodge again. And then use your bolt charge to evade some more. Do that. Dodge again. Dodge again.
This is cool. So was this before we started talking about this? Was this going to be a high precision build?
It is. It was using Berserker's amulet though.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you use Berserker's amulet because I mean, Assassin's amulet's just as good in this case. I'd say.
Oh, listen! Please put Mad King runes on and walk into those golems and just show everyone.
Okay, I gotta
five
get
targets. So while you do that, teach people who are new to the series about Mad King runes.
So Mad King runes is basically the rune set that I use all the time because it is the best rune set in the game, and nobody else seems to use them for some reason because
Can't
they're
imagine
all
why.
stupid.
I can't imagine.
And because everybody's silly. Everybody's silly except for me. And many people have said that Arenanet should rename Mad King's runes to Boots runes or something, or King Boots runes. But of course that's not going to happen.
Nope.
Of course that's not going to happen.
You need to be bigger on YouTube before that happens.
Need to be bigger on YouTube.
Yeah.
They're the best runes in the game. So what happens is, I'm going to put them on right now. Where are they? Runes of the Mad King. And I guess I'll keep the Assassin's Amulet. Why not? So Runes of the Mad King, you get power stats. You get 175 power. It also gives a little bit of condition duration and a lot of bleeding duration. It gives 40% bleeding duration. But you don't really care about that. What you care most about is the tier 6 summon ravens to attack nearby enemies when you activate an elite skill. So when you activate an elite skill, in this case Signet of Rage, which in itself gives 5 might for 25 seconds, so that'll give you an extra dodge as well. It will summon 3 ravens, 1 raven per target. So it's up to 3 ravens if you have 3 targets in front of you.
Oh, I thought it was 5 targets. Okay, it's only 3.
No, it's 3. It's 3. Up to 3 ravens, but these ravens attack very frequently over a short amount of time.
It's like 16 packets of damage, isn't it?
14 packets of damage, yeah. And each of those packets of damage, while you're wielding a greatsword, triggers Forceful Greatsword.
As long as they crit.
As long as they crit. So that'll be an additional 42 might.
Here's what I think you should do as well. You see this rock here? You should climb on this rock, right? You should jump off. You should jump off the rock to put yourself in some full damage, and then immediately go do it so that you're low on health and people can see how quickly you heal.
That's a great idea. Oh yeah, there we go. And I'll use my heal skill so I don't regenerate anymore. Here, now watch this. Look at the healing.
Okay, I'm looking. It's like supercharged regen on you. That's so crazy.
Yeah, and that was even without my heal skill, my healing signet up.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was really, really, really crazy. It must look super cool on your screen as well, the little numbers. It's like Guild Wars 1 farm mode. That's cool.
Yeah.
By the way, so what amulets are we looking at? Demolisher? Demolisher looks like it'd be really nice on this.
So right there I was using Assassin's Amulet, but I usually use Berserker's Amulet.
Okay.
Demolisher's Amulet, Power, Precision, Toughness, Ferocity. You know what? That is pretty good too, except the Ferocity is quite low. I do like killing things quickly.
That Ferocity is higher than Zerk Ferocity.
No, it's not.
Sorry, Precision. Oh, Ferocity. Yeah, sorry. For some reason, I thought you said Ferocity. Precision. Which is
no,
weird of me.
Anyway,
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so
okay.
it's better precision, but I don't really care about the toughness that much. Although it could be good, you know. It's not something.
This is the kind of thing I'd run. I'd round it out a little bit more, I think.
Fair enough. I would. Yeah, you could use either Assassins, Berserker, or Demolisher. What you do need though is a lot of crit chance. So that Berserker, Assassins, and Demolisher all does it, and it is a power build, so you don't really care about condition damage or anything like that. Also, like I said, healing power, although it does help, it doesn't scale very well. So. You get maybe a 20% boost on those heals, which is not that great if you're putting that many attributes into it.
Okay.
So again, like I said, Mad King runes, and so the weapons, like I said, was greatsword, axe, shield, and right now what I'm using for the sigils on them are the same on either case. It's Sigil of Battle,
Okay.
which is gain 4 stacks of might when you swap to this weapon.
Oh,
while
that
in
seems
combat.
there's some nice synergy on Sigil of Battle now. So when you weapon swap, you gain more dodge.
When you weapon swap, you gain 20 dodge. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And also Sigil of Courage. On hit, gain 10 seconds of might. So, and that's on a 2-second cooldown.
Okay, so you're just going crazy might here.
Crazy might. You could probably switch one of these out. Like on the other, since it's a 9-second cooldown on the Sigil of Battle, and since you are in Discipline, you have fast hands, which means your swap of your weapon is down to 5 seconds instead of 10 seconds. That means that if you're swapping off cooldown every time, the Sigil of Battle might not proc each time.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not very often you swap off cooldown that quickly.
Yeah. I like this.
Okay.
All the might. And normally, my criticism of all the might would be, well, you don't need that much, but you get use out of it. That's what's quite cool out of this build.
get
Even
so
even
much
if
use
you're
out
already
of
at
it.
25, you still care about getting more and refreshing it.
Exactly. You get so much use out of it. Now, the next 2 trait lines, I'll go with the one that I like the most first, and that is Discipline. So with Discipline, you get additional adrenaline on weapon swap.
Okay.
5 adrenaline on weapon swap with a 4 recharge. And Versatile Power. So that's an additional 2 stacks of might when you weapon swap.
So your weapon
And
swap is
burst
actually
skills.
30 endurance. This is exciting.
Yeah.
So many ways to get dodge. It's those little things that if you play a lot of this build will start to get ingrained in you. You'll know that your way out as you're trying to peel or whatever is to weapon swap
use this
dodge.
skill, or use this swap, or use this thing and then dodge, or dodge and then do this, or whatever.
And your shield's on one set, so it could be like weapon swap, dodge straight into the shield 5. Do you get might on blocks as well? Are you running that on this build?
I am running that, but I'll get to that in a second.
Okay. Man, that's like a full refresh of your endurance then.
Yeah, so there are so many full refreshes in this. It's very great. So, like I said, with Mad King runes and the elite skill, it's basically a full refresh because you get so much might. If you're dodging the entire time, you basically heal to full and deal 5,000 damage to everybody around you just from the birds, basically. And then if you're dodging around as well, it's like 3,000 damage per dodge roll.
As long as you're landing this stuff, obviously.
As long as you're landing this stuff, yeah. And with Defense Line and Shield Master might on block, if people are attacking you a lot, which they will, even if you're blocking, usually they still do it. You have 3 seconds of block with your shield, and that's, you'll gain a lot of health and you'll definitely get your dodges back.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so back in the Discipline line though, I'm using Warrior Sprint because you're using 2 melee weapons, and Warrior Sprint is just good.
Yeah, and the other
Especially
options aren't really that useful anyway.
Yeah, and with Bull's Charge and all the leap skills you have, it's very good. All the movement skills. Fast Hands, reduce cooldown, and then I have Brawler's Recovery to remove conditions when you swap weapons. That's going to help a little bit.
I agree.
If you, for some reason, are playing in some situation where you're not going to receive any conditions, you could deal increased damage per boon on your target, but that's rare. Then Versatile Power we talked about. And then I go with Axe Mastery because it's no longer in Strength line.
And it got that beautiful change where you don't need both axes to get full capability.
Yeah, exactly. And while you're using your axe, you basically completely regain all of your adrenaline necessary for your burst every time before your burst comes off cooldown.
Okay.
Yeah, so you basically be able to use your full burst on your axe off cooldown every single time with Axe Mastery.
Yeah.
A ton of ferocity and a nice recharge reduction.
And of course, Eviscerate now has built into it the 5 might.
Yeah, the built-in 5 might. That's another
Plus
dodge.
15 traded endurance on top. That's cool. That's cool, cool.
Yeah, that's another dodge. And yeah, it does a ton of damage. Just a ton of damage. And then finally, right now I'm using the defense line because it is very strong. Like I said, with that Shield Master block is very good. On top of that, you've got Adrenal Health, which is still overpowered. So on top of your might from healing from might, and on top of your healing signet passive, you're also going to be, after using a burst skill, healing more than your healing signet passive because of Adrenal Health every second. Then I go with Lesser Endure Pain because it's just too powerful. And then finally, I'm currently using Last Stand because I've been running a couple of stances as my utility skills besides the Bull's Charge.
Okay.
And so it works well together. It gives me vigor as well, so even more endurance regeneration on stance use. And I do like the balanced stance whenever you get interrupted.
You didn't feel like rousing resilience was something you wanted to work into this build as well to be ultra brawlery?
No, rousing resilience is not good enough for this build.
Okay.
Yeah. Too much activated chance things. You just don't want to have
headbutt
to,
either with no Berserker.
Exactly. There's no point. And then finally, actually, you could use Cleansing Ire instead, because if there's gonna be a lot of condition pressure, you might need it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not running it because with the Last Stand, I'm also using Berserker Stance as one of my utility skills.
Okay.
So I usually am able to, if there starts to be a lot of condition pressure, I'm usually able to ride it out with the Berserker Stance and kill the guy before it comes back.
Right.
And then my last utility skill is Frenzy, because it does, again, give a lot more might.
Why?
A lot more might. It's a stance, gives vigor and quickness.
But this is Balls Rush Frenzy Greatsword Warrior. There you go. This is 2012.
Balls Rush Frenzy Greatsword. YOLO is back.
This is crazy, because people have been watching this video and probably seen Frenzy on that bar the whole time, and I just haven't known about it. Oh, yeah. Not Frenzy Boots. Not Frenzy.
Man. How could you go wrong with Frenzy?
So tell me your utilities all in a line now.
So my utilities all in line are Bull's Rush, Berserker Stance, or Bull's Charge, sorry, and Frenzy. Sure, you could switch out Frenzy. I have switched out Frenzy in the past. There are a lot of utility skills you could use instead.
Put on a cheeky little balance stance right there. Or a Defy Pain.
You could put Defy Pain or Balance Stance are just probably maybe even better. But I do like Frenzy.
I suppose this could have been worse. You could have been using Kick because you were going to talk about the new changes to it and the fact that it removes immobilization and it's a physical skill as well and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So an earlier version of this build actually didn't have, I think it was, anyway, either Discipline or Defense, but it had instead Tactics.
Okay.
And there's some interesting Grandmasters for Tactics in this with Might Makes Right. One of them, obviously, is Phalanx Strength, because you're going to give yourself with this build so much might that it's really good to share it out with your friends.
Yeah, I see that. I do see a bit of that, what you're saying there.
Yeah, so you drop a little bit of survivability for yourself with the defense line, but you give 25 stacks of might to all your friends, which is nice. Another possibility less good is Powerful Synergy, because at some point I decided to try out putting fire fields down and bursting in them to give 6 stacks of might every time you do that.
Right.
But it's not very powerful.
Yeah, that's a shame. I still want something really awesome for Powerful Synergy to work one day.
Me too. There's a few things like healing fields, but it's hard to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
So basically that's the build. I don't know what else to say about it. It works in PvP. It's been working very nicely in PvP for me. It works in World versus World roaming. I also joined up in a little bit of a Zerg, and it did quite well in that too, because dodges are get you around a lot of stuff. And finally, it's just solid for PvE. This
is a solid open world PvE build, definitely.
It's so good. Yeah, you have 25% extra movement speed the entire time. The only thing you're lacking is maybe a little ranged whenever you need it.
The thing is as well, you can't undervalue, in open world scenarios, just having 25 might as you run around all over the place. That's good. That's strong. And for PvP here as well, people can strip that and remove it, and then you'll put it back super fast, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you're in a group with people, you could decide instead of running defense, you could run the tactics with a phalanx strength. Just casually, it's not a rating scenario, and it's probably not for fractals, but open world stuff and maybe dungeons. It's a great build.
Yeah, this seems cool. Yeah, I gotta say, this is one of those boost bad builds I'm actually really excited to play, because I did love that old Power Warrior gameplay, as silly and cheesy as it was. I did, and I think a lot of this seems really exciting, really interesting. A good axe build. I don't know. I like the sound of it. I really do.
It's good. It's a lot of fun to play. It is a lot of fun to play, and it's the kind of build that, like in World versus World roaming, It's YOLO, so you're squishy, but at the same time, you don't have to be too worried about going up against 2 or 3 people because of your resets, your Signet of Rage reset with the birds or your shield reset. You could easily do a 3v1 if your guys aren't fantastic players.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about like what's good about it. I've gone through my spiel, but I think we need the why it's bad.
All right, well, we've already said, I think if this build's going to be bad, it's going to be bad for all the same reasons that the old Power Warriors ended up feeling bad. In that people sort of learn what to do when they see the balls rush. Do you remember when people could like land the throw bolus immob combos and then use their great sword chains and stuff on people? And then people learn to counter it. If it's bad, it could just be because it's not so much in the theory craft itself of it, but it's just outclassed by the kind of other builds other people are capable of running at the moment. Without seeing it, it's another one of those ones where without seeing it, I don't know how great it can be. I'm also a little bit skeptical. A lot of it's reliant on a lot of your might gain is reliant on hitting a lot of targets, critting a lot of targets, and very frequently. So a lot of your sustain is contingent on your own output. And so I feel like this is kind of a pendulum-y build where when you have the upper hand,
constantly blinded, for example.
Yeah, if you have the upper hand and you're capable of pressuring a lot and they're on the defensive a bit, you're going to sort of snowball into your favor there. However, if you're low and you're pressured and you happen to be quite kitey and evadey, that means you're going to put out a bit less, and then you're going to be getting less use out of the trait. And so I feel like it's going to be one of those kind of builds that's quite pendulum-y, and I quite like builds like that for what it's worth. So maybe that's why. I mean, there's standard stuff. We already talked about the utility skill that I'd change. We also maybe have some other amulets that we could be running. And Mad King runes is what elite are you running again? Signet of Rage, right?
Rage, yeah.
And you want Mad King runes, which have what's the ICD on Mad King?
45 seconds.
45. So it's duplicate. So you get reasonable use out of it, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Mad King runes.
I think you're right though. That's basically how I felt playing with it too. Like either I'm winning the fight very handily because of all the sustain I'm getting and additional dodges I'm getting by hitting, or I'm fighting like a thief that is away from me the entire time.
And you can't sort of start to... It's like a bully build, basically, this. The more you can pound on them, the better and better and better you will do.
And that's why actually I cherish the fights where I'm fighting more than one person.
Yeah, and that's quite cool as well. There's some cool like matchup thoughts to be had there, where this is a little bit better against like Mesmers that are spamming a ton of clones out and phantasms out, or like Necros that are running around with minions and things with them, if people still do that anyway. Or NGs that are running around with gyros and stuff. I think that's all pretty interesting to look at. But generally speaking, I don't know if this works, then it works, and I really like the play style, to be honest. I think this will be a fun build and one I actually kind of want to play and see.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, that's probably why I like the Mad King runes and Frenzy in this build, because they are things that guarantee me those might and
push you the
dodges.
Advantage. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, definitely.
Because once you get the birds on, it's on for like 4 or 5 seconds afterwards. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so thanks so much, man.
Well, there you go. And we will see how it's... Tell me when this goes up so I can look at the stuff. And I guess we'll be back next time with some elite specializations.
Oh, baby, yes. I can't wait.
See what you do with Spellbreaker.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Actually, that's something I wanted to talk about, but I forgot to. I kind of want to run the same build, almost, but with Spellbreaker instead of either defense or tactic or discipline, and run that Sun and Moon style thing. For I think it says 7% extra, 7% of your crit damage comes to healing.
Yeah, something like that.
So like if you run defense, strength, healing signet, and that all together, you have so much passive health generation.
Well, we don't spoil it before the day. We will see how that works out in
the
future, I guess.
All right, next time. See you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye. Wow, that outro.
I meant to say see you later, guys.